Good afternoon to the Jamel Ray George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, as you know, this is another comparison video I'm doing. As you know, for the rest of this month, my comparison movies will be a series of based on called Silicone Free, and this is volume number 3. And I choose these particular ladies because at one point they were pretty much competing at the same time. I'm trying to see. I was trying to find out if they competed the same shows together. But at one point I remember that a few years ago, for a couple of years, Janeen Lankowski was competing as a physique competitor for a while, and with Toni Moore here, she dropped out of bodybuilding because of a medical condition. But both of them, pretty much, if you see them, they're if you really compare them to, they're about the same height, close to the same weight, but generally there's some slight differences. And Janeen's known for a posing style, and I've always been a fan of Toni Moore. I remember seeing her. She was on an episode of some kind of reality show where she was on a dating thing because she was married before. But anyway, let me just go ahead and get started here. As you know, these are great, impressive women. They have great shapes with great bodies. This is just a basic or regular pose here. Something a little stylish, nothing too fancy, but they look pretty good in this one. And the first comparison pose is going to be front lat spread. And here, they're doing like on the tippy toe style. Some ladies like to do tippy toe style, some do it flat footed. And here, I think I give the push to, Tonia. So it's a Tonia Moore. It's not, I forget that A instead of the E. But, I think she goes by Toni sometimes. But I think it's Tonia. Anyway, like I said, give the push to Tonia because the way her shoulders is, it's just like, she just has that great, she has a great set of shoulders. Great size. Janeen's pretty impressive. I'm a fan of Janeen. But right here, I give this push to, in a way I think I give it to Tonia, I mean. Now here is a front double bicep. And, they both, if you look at it, they look like they're about the same size. They practically are about the same size. But if you really look closely, you can see the edge slightly goes to Tonia. Tonia has a little bit more, a little bit more peak on her bicep compared to Janeen. Janeen's impressive, she's impressive, but I have to give this one here to Tonia. Next up is a double bicep rear. It's on the back, and if you really look at the detail of the back, the development. Here, this is, I think I will give this slight edge to Janeen. I think I can see more detail in her back compared to, Tonia's. You can see how more definition in Janeen's back than compared to Tonia's back, but they both have great backs. And this is like something I just really, really take a good look and just really try to make a choice, but this is where I go with Janeen on this one. Here is a rear lat spread. And here I think this is the best pose that we could find with Tonia's, but this one here I have to give Janeen because Janeen is a good poser. She knows how to use her body and how to use the width of it, So like I said, I give this to Janeen. Here is a side tricep, and here the detail of the upper shoulders is just amazing here. I think the way how Tonia's pulling her arm at, I would say I give this one to Tonia Moore. And here is a side chest. And this is why I say, this is the bait why I often say that women without breast implants, the implants will get away of how the chest looks. It doesn't push away the skin, and you see the detail in the muscle. And here I'm really have to go with, I think I'll go with Tonia on this one. Tonia looks pretty good. Janeen looks great, but Tonia looks like she just got, you can see more detail in her chest. You practically see the veins popping and striation. Now, Janeen looks pretty good, but Tonia, I think she just has an amazing chest. Here's just a nice little posing, some little free posing. Janeen has that little style to her. She has won several I've done videos before where I mentioned before that Janeen had won several posing awards during her career as a professional bodybuilder. And I think Tonia got a nice little pose right here. Here is a bicep, and I would have to give the bicep to Tonia. I think Tonia always seemed like she just came with some great muscle development. The gene come pretty good, but here I have to give it to Tonia. Now glutes, the glutes is where you really see how you really get a good look of how a woman is on stage and when you look from the back. And if I say the glutes, I think the debate has to really go to Janeen. Janeen has a great set of glutes. Nice and tight. You can probably flip a quarter off of them. You can jump on them like a springboard. Tiny looks pretty impressive, but here I have to give it to Janeen. And this is like a base of a like little, like I said, not cupcake posing, like beefcake posing. Something that guys might really, schmoes like really into, like something you later, do a little double bicep. I should have got some little more picture, but I love this picture of Tonia. It's very attractive. I like this one, Janeen. And here, them doing splits. Janeen she's doing this is from one of her competitions, and Tonia kind of reminds me like that Van Damme. It's a pretty good split. But like I said, these are both impressive ladies. I mean, Janeen, I followed Janeen. I just recently reached out to her, see how she's doing, because, and, Tonia, I follow her on, social media. She's doing all right since she retired. I know at one point I remember she said that she missed the sport of bodybuilding, but she'll miss the judging and all other stuff that goes with the sport. She just missed how her body looked, how it was. She still takes care of herself, and she still works out, but she says she'll never get back to where she was before. And that's the thing about it, just how illness takes out a person out, and it's just one of those things. But both these ladies are great women, great bodies. I know at one point they did compete in about the same time, but I think they was on stage together. So again, Janine at one point was competing as physique for a couple of years. Tonia, I think by the time Janine was peaking in physique for around 2016, and by then Tonia was already out by 2014, 2015. And I would love to see them on the stage. They might have crossed paths. You never know. You got to really look and see if they have competed in the same stage. I know that, Janine does the Tampa Bay a lot. I know the last show I think, Tonia did was around Tampa back in 2014, and she just had a great shape. I just loved her. I love these smaller, shorter women. It just seemed like the smaller, shorter female bodybuilders just pack on more muscle because it takes, a while for like if a woman like women over 5'6" to a little taller, it takes a lot more and a lot more time for them to put on the muscle compared to women who are a little shorter. It just seemed like we want you to just get it going. It just boom. People like Rosemary Jennings and Michelle Rabelette and Sue Price. These women who like any women that from below 5'4" to under 5 feet. You know. And these are some great women who I always, and one thing about them, like I said, they competed for as long as they did and still competing as long as they are and have not built to the well silicone. And that is a special thing, to be a female bodybuilder now in this current age where they're pushing the idea of femininity, where it's based on two, plastic sacks filled with silicone. And that shouldn't be the way of it, but that's how society is. But like I said, if it was possible, I would love to see women compete on stage together. In one of my time space continuum theories. But like I said, you pick who you feel is your favorite. You for Janine, you for Tonia. You think what would have been like if they were on stages together. And also, if anybody who did who followed bodybuilding who more detailed than I do, if you ever remember seeing them on doing a show together, competing when at one point, I'd like to know. So anyway, this your man, aka All the Rage George Page, the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm out.